All right, everyone, the fourth GOP also-ran debate will be tonight. Yes, there will be 4 people up on stage. Of course, Hutchinson clearly didn't make the cut. Basically, it's going to be Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley battling it out for second place. We'll be talking, by the way, about the one recent Iowa poll that we just got in the other day as well, because it's of considerable importance. I'm going to make a whole separate exclusive video just on that. To be clear, the fact that you haven't seen much change in the polling period is dire for Ron DeSantis, and it pretty much mints Donald Trump as the nominee at this point. The fourth GOP also-ran debate will also feature Vivek Ramaswamy. You know, at least he's well-spoken, but he tends to go off, and hopefully he baits Nikki Haley again into saying something boot-related. And then Chris Christie, he'll be up there. He's very glad that he made the debate cut, because he definitely needs to go and get some food. And that's it. There are only 4 people up on stage. I think there's only one other person in after Burgum's dropped out. I can't remember if there's anyone else in there. Hutchinson will drop any day anyway. He didn't make the debate, and he said he would make up his mind after Thanksgiving. Well, he ate his turkey or his ham or whatever. It's time to drop out of the race. Make like Doug Burgum and realize there's no path forward for you. It's not going to happen. Here's my analysis, and it's predictive analysis. Of course, the debate hasn't happened yet. I predict that Ron DeSantis will have another decent performance. Nothing terribly wrong, nothing terribly great. He's sort of the jack-of-all-trades average Joe candidate. He'll do all right. Nikki Haley will be the best rhetorically, but she'll say off the batshit things. Basically, we need to bomb them all. The other day, she effectively said that she thought that gender transitioning for underage kids was okay with her. I don't know how well that works with evangelical voters. I think Ron DeSantis was very glad that she made those comments. He's like, thank God. You know, she's still inching up right behind me in Iowa, but, you know, between Vanderplatz and that, there's got to be some shift in the polling, and I suspect that that will actually hurt her. Vivek Ramaswamy is just there to be there at this point. He has no shot at coming in second place in any state, despite the fact that he is more qualified than like a Nikki Haley. He would be at least at parity with Ron DeSantis as far as that goes. And then Chris Christie will whine about Trump. He'll challenge the other candidates on stage. Why don't you talk more about how evil Donald is? Yeah, the dude I was an official advisor for, did debate prep for, stood on stage with, throatily endorsed before. Now I hate him because reasons. I've decided that I want to get my name on the ballot instead, and it'll be nothing. My prediction is that, once again, as with the other debates, and literally everything else that has happened for months and months and months, nothing can change the basic trajectory of the GOP primaries. Donald Trump will likely perform a clean sweep because he is a quasi-incumbent. More people will probably tune in, by the way, to his rally between people online, which is, you know, where it actually matters at this point, and television for what it's worth. More people will probably listen to his rally than will watch the debate. I mean, I'm going to have to at least watch snippets from it in order to give my analysis, because it is newsworthy. I mean, it's a presidential debate for a major party primary, but I don't expect there to be anything that can really move the race. The problem is that all of these people are competing for a small and shrinking pool of voters. If you look at the polling, in virtually every state, Trump is already above 50. In the early states, he's in the upper 40s, and that's just because those states are being disproportionately targeted by advertising campaigns and knock-on-door campaigns by the candidates, because they know if they don't stop Trump in Iowa specifically, or at least come in a strong second in a slew of first states, there is no path to victory. And they're hoping to have enough delegates so that if there's a brokered convention, or if one of the legacy media brainwashed crazies out there takes a shot at Trump and he dies or is incapacitated or something, they're hoping to be waiting in the wings as a replacement candidate. That's the only reason there's anyone in the race at this point. These are highly ambitious individuals. Well, other than Christie, again, he seems to be there just to complain. They're waiting in the wings, hoping that something outside of the primary itself causes Trump not to be able to be nominated. GOP shenanigans, death, incapacitation, something like that. It won't be because he got legally blocked from the ballot, though. They're batting zero right now with regards to those cases. I think at last count, I think there were 6 or 7 different cases that they've lost already with regards to getting Trump off the ballot in various states. And even the Dem-donating, Clinton-loving judge had to say, well, yes, Trump engaged in insurrection, but I can't block him from the ballot because the Insurrection Act doesn't apply to the presidency. The biggest ass-covering cop-out in history. Going home that night, that particular judge is like, whew, at least my neighbors aren't going to leave flaming dog shit bags on my front stairs for saying that Trump didn't commit insurrection. I managed to get around that one. By the way, should be removed from practicing law entirely for obviously ignoring constitutional precedent. The debate's not going to matter. I mean, it only matters insofar as it doesn't matter. The race is already a sealed deal. The people of the GOP have already spoken. You don't even really need to hold a vote right now. Donald Trump is simply too far ahead for him to be able to be stopped. He's destroying Ron DeSantis by 20 points in his own home state. He's destroying Nikki Haley by more than 20 points in her own home state. Do the math. You would need the biggest, most upending poll shift of all goddamn political history in order for him to be stopped. Now, you still have 6 weeks to go until Iowa votes. Is it possible that in that period of time something massive happens? Yeah, I mean, Trump could croak. He could have a stroke and then he ends up like John Fetterman or something like that. It's possible, but I'm not betting on it. I'm not betting on any of those things happening before the primaries have already begun and are well underway. Trump could get found guilty of some crime. They're going to have to grapple, by the way, when they start the actual criminal proceedings against Trump. If he's found guilty of anything, they're going to have to grapple with the fact that it would be against the law to deprive him of security. He has to be surrounded by Secret Service for the rest of his life. He's a former president. If he were just a presidential candidate and hadn't already been in that office, you wouldn't be having that conversation. They're going to have to probably go through the courts for years to figure out what to do, and in the meantime, any sane court will injunct them from removing the Secret Service from guarding him, because he literally knows state secrets. That's basically the point. The point is to keep enemies away from the president, because if the former president gets taken hostage or something and gets tortured, might give up nuclear secrets or military secrets of one sort or another. That's basically the premise. You probably end up having to put him under house arrest at the Mar-a-Lago, which, by the way, since it's 23 acres and, you know, one of the most lavishly decorated places in the goddamn world, I don't think that Donald would mind that too much. He can campaign on Rumble. You're not going to be able to keep him away from the computer. I don't think you're going to be able to stipulate that without running afoul of various constitutional premises as well. I think Trump could win from house arrest. I think Trump could win from a supermax. And then he would waltz out when he's elected and be like, hey, I'm back. he keeps the cuffs on him, by the way, and then very visibly he has someone snip them off just as a symbolic gesture. In fact, that would definitely be a masterful move propaganda-wise if Donald Trump were to do something like that. The debate won't matter, except insofar as it will display why it doesn't matter. The American people are once again going to watch 4 also-rans who simply don't make the cut, be boring and droll, or they're going to tune into the Trump rally because they're like, hey, he might say crazy shit. We never know what Donald is going to say. We know what Christie's going to say. He'll be funny occasionally. He'll launch a couple of one-liners, but it'll be about Trump. Ramaswamy will say maybe something mean to Nikki Haley. That's kind of cool. DeSantis will be very, very dry. Haley will be very, very dry unless antagonized. You can already predict exactly how the debate's going to go. We've got 3 other examples, and have any of these people deviated from their basic political character in any of those debates? You already know how they're going to act. But Donald might come up on stage and do something crazy, and so he's much more palatable. He's much more fun to watch. I just wish he'd get back on Twitter. All he has to do is fire off one tweet during the debate, and the viewership will drop by 50%. People will be awaiting a tweet storm instead. That's about all. Peace out.